We have an investigations unit, an entire unit of people that can go at a moment's notice and do anything we need to do to preserve.
NetJets crashed last month, June 16th, 2026. Well, I've got the preliminary report right here in my hand. It didn't take them a full 30 days to get the report out. There's lots packed into this report. Let's go back and let's take a look at what happened leading up to this incident. I'm going to review for you real quickly the dash cam video of this airplane crashing on a highway just outside of Laredo, Texas. As you watch this video from right to left, lower down on your screen, you're going to see the airplane come into the picture quickly. It's going to hit a light stand. It's going to take down that light stand. It's going to pop up for a second, and then it's going to hit a second light stand before it finally comes to rest. What happened? Let's watch. Here we go, going down the highway. Right about here is where you see the airplane enter from the right. See that little light down there? It strikes something right there, probably a car, that bright light in the lower right hand, boom, that right there. There's no fireball, however, there's a reason for that. The airplane pops up a little bit, hits that light stand, see it hit, and that light stand goes down, and now, very slow, it pops up for a second, see the airplane there, pops up, it's coming to a rest, it hits the next light stand, boom, takes it out, and it goes off the screen as we're looking at it. There's nothing else here for us to see on this one. All right, let me show you now the other angle. And this is the one that you're used to seeing on the news. Watch this. They're coming, they're trying to... They got a shovel and I think a crowbar. They're trying to get the pilots out. Right. There's where I'm going to pause it. You can see the guy with the shovel, he's trying to get in there, smoke in the cockpit. All right, how many people were injured on this and how many fatalities? There was one fatality, Joshua Bear, who is the CEO of a tech company who had actually rented the airplane. He is the only fatality in this. There was a serious injury. The captain on the airplane was seriously injured. Don't have an update on his condition according to this report. There were 5 other injuries in this. But you can see there's kind of the desperation to get people out of the airplane. They did eventually get everybody out of the aircraft, but what's missing in this accident was that great big fireball. Why? They were out of fuel. That's what caused this mishap. So let's jump into the preliminary report, and let's now go back and unwrap exactly what happened leading up to them when this controlled crash on the freeway. On June 16th is the incident. It's a Textron Aviation Incorporated 680 Alpha airplane. The tail number is November 523 Quebec Sierra. The captain received serious injuries. The first officer received minor injuries. One passenger was fatally injured. That was Joshua Bear, who we just talked about. Again, our condolences to the family, and it's very sad anytime there is a loss of life. We wish it had happened. According to the second paragraph now of the report, the flight crew, early in the flight, they noticed an unusual vibration, and here's where they get their first indication that something's going wrong. A vibration doesn't tell you anything. It just says something doesn't feel right. And many times in an incident or an accident, you'll either hear it with your ear first, or you'll feel it. You'll feel something's wrong with the airplane. It's shaking in a certain way. Many times I've had my hands on the power levers, on the thrust levers on the airplane, and felt a vibration. That vibration could link all the way back to the engine. You don't know where it's coming from. So they feel vibration, so they contact the NetJets Flight Operations Duty Manager. So there's somebody on call 24/7 at NetJets to discuss these sort of things. So they get on the phone, they're talking to the Flight Duty Manager, they're describing what they're feeling. The captain said, it sounds like a fan is on. You can feel it in the dashboard. He says, it was on steady during the climb, but now it's gone. Okay, so it's something that they felt in the climb up, and now that they're leveled off, they don't feel it anymore. Okay, all right, it could be something going on with the engine, it could be something in the dash of the airplane. It's just hard to isolate where a vibration is coming from. NetJets Maintenance Control then joined the call, and the captain provided an update that the vibration was intermittent for a while, and now it is gone. During the discussion, the flight crew received a crew alerting system. That's their screen in front of them. On my airplane, it's called an ICAS. On this, it's called just a CAS. It's a crew alerting system. Message related to the air data computer. Both on ABC1 was the message that they got. That it seems completely unrelated at this point to what eventually is going on to the airplane. But I'm here to tell you, there's no coincidences here. Something was connected to something else, but there was something going on that they couldn't see, but they could feel. All right, so let's hold on to that because we're going to connect all these dots. The maintenance controller suggested that the vibration might be caused by an avionics cooling fan in the forward instrument panel. The idea was reinforced by the CAS message. So now they got the message, they got the guy in the ground saying, it's probably a fan in the dash someplace. You know how those things are. Sometimes they go wonky, they go bad, like in your car. Sometimes a fan will go bad, you'll feel it vibrate, or you can hear it, it's making a grinding noise. You're like, yeah, that's going to be expensive. I need to take that in. So you just turn the fan off and you kind of ignore it until you can afford to get it replaced. So that's kind of what's going on here, but it's much more sinister than that, and they don't know it quite yet. So the indication number one was this vibration. Indication number two was the CAS message that came out. What was really happening? They were having a massive fuel leak, and they didn't realize it yet. It's at night, so they can't see a fuel leak out a window. A passenger could have seen it potentially. It's nighttime, you're not going to see that sort of thing. They've got a massive fuel leak, and they're running out of fuel, and they don't know it quite yet. All right, bad's going to go to worse here in a second. Bottom paragraph now on page 1. As the airplane approached the U.S.-Mexico border, the flight crew received a fuel boost pump on right message on their CAS screen. That's a dreadful warning when you get the fuel boost pump, and what it's telling you is either the fuel boost pump for the right tank or the right engine has failed, or it's got low pressure. It doesn't have enough fuel to boost out any more fuel, so it's running out of fuel. But you don't know exactly. The first thing that a pilot would do would check the fuel quantities in the tanks. It doesn't give us any indication that they ever did that here. At least then they might have, but it's not part of the report. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they didn't do it, just saying it's not part of this report. So as far as we know, they didn't check the fuel quantity at that point. But they got this boost pump light on telling them either the pump has failed or they're running out of gas. The message was followed a few seconds later by fuel pressure low right on the same screen. Okay, now you know you're out of fuel. It's not just the fuel pump, you're out of fuel. At that point, they must have looked at the fuel quantity, but again, it's just telling them the pressure is low, which might lull you into this sense of maybe it's the pump that has failed. Now, if the pump fails, does that mean the engine is going to flame out? No, not at all. If a pump fails and there's plenty of fuel in the tank and the fuel line to the tank is intact, it's going to gravity feed. That's what it's called. It's just going to gravity feed. It's like suction, siphoning out of your fuel tank. And once you get that siphoning going, it's going to keep going. As long as that engine is running, it's going to be drawing pressure out. So why do we have these boost pumps? Just to reassure that you got positive pressure all the time when you're turning left, turning right, going up, going down. You always want to have that same positive pressure going to the fuel tank. You don't want it to vary because you could potentially have a problem with the engine glitching, but it's gonna gravity feed to the engine. If you're out of fuel, there's nothing to gravity feed. Hold on, hang on to that, put a pin in that, because that's coming next. So next they get some more CAS messages on their screen. They were displayed electronic or true fail right, don't know what that means, and windshield heat in out right. Seems completely and totally unrelated. And it might be, but it's not likely that it's a coincidence. Something electronically is failing in this airplane, and it's all on the right side. It's probably connected to that right generator. All right? So the first thing is, as a pilot, I'm going, huh? What? Hold on. But everything's on the right side, all right? About 11 minutes later, now they're still flying along, trying to diagnose their problem. They're still over Mexican airspace. They're about to enter U.S. airspace. About 11 minutes later, a fuel level low right message was displayed. So now they've got it confirmed that they're out of fuel on the right side. It's a fuel level low right message is displayed. Why they didn't discover that in the previous 11 minutes, I don't know. Not casting any dispersions on them, just saying it doesn't say in the report whether they knew that was coming or not. Next paragraph. Middle of the paragraph, the flight crew reported a generator failure and multiple other failures, issues including fuel level low. They requested to divert to Laredo International Airport in Texas. So the next transmission that they make is that they believe that they are low on fuel. They're requesting to go into Laredo. They've got multiple other failures, and they're not, whether they're connected or not, they probably are through that right generator. Well, what happens here is going to be really important. I'm going to show you a picture here in just a second that's going to show you where the main failure took place, and it's very graphic what took place. But as all of these lights are illuminating and they're trying to connect all the dots, what's going wrong with this airplane is that they have a possible fuel spraying out of a right engine onto a generator. If it's spraying onto the generator will fail prior to the engine failing. Usually a generator will stop working when the engine stops running. But if it gets sprayed with fuel or oil or something else that gets down into its works, it might stop. It might become erratic, right? And so I think what you're seeing here is indications of a failing generator and the spurious signals that it's sending out. And somehow it's kind of like the cart got ahead of the horse here. They're dealing with a fuel leak they don't know about exactly yet, an engine that's about to fail, and a generator that's preceding it. It's kind of backwards. It should be going the opposite direction, but they're all trying to put this together. It just doesn't make any sense. Bottom of the second paragraph, the flight crew stated that they were ready and request.
Switch account 141. Views. Why is it showing not showing the chat? Okay, well. Hello?
Hello,
Yes.
it's Tuesday, 1:21 p.m. in the middle of summer. How are things in Polanco today?
Wonderful. Just wonderful.
Yeah. What's making it wonderful?
Oh, well, talking to you.
Ah. Well, what is wonderful? What's on your mind right now?
Oh, well, I'm thinking about doing a news story about the classroom. Because Gertie hadn't come to class today.
That could be the start of the story. What's the next step?
Well, that nursery rhyme that you were doing earlier.
Ah. In the classroom?
Yeah, that one.
Checking. Episode 28. Where is Gertie? At Granville Junior High. That was Dean.